Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, I welcome everybody to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Keshwananda Prabhuji to enlighten us on topic Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 27 chapter, 12th verse onwards. Mataji, who wants to read the verse, Mataji?
मैंने कल का देखा था. ओके,
Lalitangi Mataji, Shamagauri Mataji, who will read, Mataji?
yeah, I can read, Mataji. What is the verse again?
Mataji, 4th canto, 27 chapter, 12th verse, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Reading Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 12. Yukteshvevam pramattasya kutumba saktacetasaha asasada savaikalu yo priya priyayoshitam. Translation: Thus, King Puranjana, being attached to fruitive activities, karma kandiya, as well as kith and kin, and being obsessed with polluted consciousness, eventually arrived at that point, not very much liked by those who are overly attached to material things. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In this verse, the words Priya Yoshitam and Apriyaha are very significant. The word Yoshit means woman and Priya means dear or pleasing. Death is not very much welcome for those who are too much attached to material enjoyment, which culminates in sex. There is an instructive story in this connection. Once, when a saintly person was passing on his way, he met a prince, the son of a king, and he blessed him, saying, "My dear prince, may you live forever." The sage next met a saintly person and said to him, "You may either live or die." Eventually, the sage met a brahmachari devotee and he blessed him, saying, "My dear devotee, you may die immediately." Finally, the sage met a hunter and he blessed him, saying, "Neither live nor die." The point is that those who are very sensual and are engaged in sense gratification do not wish to die. Generally, a prince has enough money to enjoy his senses. Therefore, the sage said that he should live forever, for as long as he lived, he could enjoy life, but after his death, he would go to hell. Since the brahmachari devotee was leading a life of severe austerities and penances, in order to be promoted back to Godhead, the sage said that he should die immediately so that he need not continue to labor hard and could instead go back home, back to Godhead. A saintly person may either live or die, for during his life he is engaged in serving the Lord, and after his death he also serves the Lord. Thus, this life and the next are the same for a saintly devotee, for in both he serves the Lord. Since the hunter lives a very ghastly life due to killing animals, and since he will go to hell when he dies, he is advised to neither live nor die. King Puranjana finally arrived at the point of old age. In old age, the senses lose their strength, and although an old man desires to enjoy his senses, and especially sex life, he is very miserable because his instruments of enjoyment no longer function. Such sensualists are never prepared for death. They simply want to live on and extend their life by so-called scientific advancement. Some foolish Russian scientists also claim that they are going to make man immortal through scientific advancement. Under the leadership of such crazy fellows, civilization is going on. Cruel death, however, comes and takes all of them away despite their desire to live forever. This type of mentality was exhibited by Hiranyakashipu, but when the time was ripe, the Lord personally killed him within a second. he won't
Hare
accept.
Krishna. Just give me a minute.
Is Prabhuji there?
Yeah, he's there, Mataji.
Yeah.
I'm there. You can hear me properly?
Yeah, your voice is very low, Prabhu.
Okay, just a minute. I'll just increase that. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Now
Yes,
am I?
Prabhu.
It's fine. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
yes.
Okay. So we are discussing fourth canto, 27th chapter, and 12th verse. Just let me just open that and then fine. So this is about Puranjan. And I'll just speak on this. Okay. Om Namo Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshirunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Namam Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Shimhari Veshtarane. So anyway, so we are talking about Puranjan, and of course everybody's talking about Puranjan because you are discussing about him. Now this is a specific verse. Narad Muni is trying to describe what is the final destination of a person who is overly materialistically attached. So what happens to him? And that's what Narad Muni is describing. So Narad Muni is describing a person who is too much attached to his household life, who is too much attached to Vedic rituals here in this verse. And then what happens to him eventually? What is his future? Where does he go? In the end, is he happy? Is he frustrated? What happens to him? So here Narad Muni is saying, Yukteshu evam pramatasya kutumba asakta chetasa. He's saying two things. He's saying people who are having these two things, they are always miserable in life. What are those two things? Yuktasya. Now this yuktasya is coming from the previous verse, where Puranjan is said to be following the codes and conducts of Vedas. He is giving charity. He is also worshipping demigods, and he is serving the society. For example, he is following ordinary dharma in that context, faithfully, by the way. But Narad Muni is saying these people who faithfully follow religious principles, because they don't have devotion to Supreme Personality of Godhead, they become attached to these codes and conducts of religion, codes and conducts of dharma, codes and conducts mentioned in the Vedas, Vedic rituals, which are actually meant to please Supreme God, but because they delete God, in the sense they don't have devotion for God, they might accept the existence of God because they accept Vedas. Of course, they have to accept the existence of God, but they don't have attachment to Him. So if they don't have attachment to Him, they will be attached to something else. You can't finish attachment. That's what Prabhupada used to say. That's a philosophy. Nityo nityananam, chetanas chetnananam. Prabhupada says so many times in quoting Upanishad that whatever God has, we have. So he is having attachment to his devotees. Our soul also have attachment to God. That's our natural constitutional position. But if we are not attached to God, then we must be attached to something else. So to what we will be attached? What we are doing will be attached to that. That's all. Finish. You can't be attached to something which you are not doing. You can't be attached to something which you have not seen. Suppose if I tell you, are you attached to, are you attached to, uh, are you attached to, let's say, Quincy? Well, you might say, what's Quincy? First of all, what's the question of attachment? I even don't know what's that. So you can't be attached to something which you don't know. And you will be attached to those things only which you know, definitely. So because such people like Puranjan, he only knew in his life the Vedic rituals and dharma and religious codes and conducts, which ordinary people, they are like that in previous times. Now people are not even religious. But because they were following this strictly like Karam Kandis follow, so they, and of course they don't have attachment to God, so their attachment is redirected towards all these things. So this is one thing. Narad Muni is describing materialistic people, how they are. This is one angle to see this verse, the first two lines. So materialistic people are overly attached to religious principles. So that's the word yuktasya is used. Now the word yuktasya means attached, to join, to be let's say, what do we say? To be joined. Prabhupada translates as to be attached to beneficial activities. Prabhupada writes like the meaning of this. So normal people are like that. They're attached to religious principles. They're attached to morality. If you go all around the world, people say do good, think good, see good, help others, like this, and they praise others who are helping others because that's praiseworthy in their eyes. And they're attached to this concept of charity, concept of respect to others, the concept of speaking truth, the concept of having compassion, and it appeals a lot. It appeals, definitely it appeals, because that's good. That's not bad. Even in the movies, you see any movie, you see any what do we say? All these superstar movies, all these Superman and all these things, all these Disney World characters, or you see any movie, there's a hero and there's a villain, and who wins? Hero wins. People like to see hero as a good person and villain as a bad person. And when there's a conflict, the good wins the evil. And that movie is hit. So materialist people are overly attached to good things. Now you see, this is very interesting. So Narad Muni is not appreciating this. There is a problem in this. What's the problem? He'll come to that later. But Narad Muni is saying this is the problem with them. They are attached to bad things, but Narad Muni is saying here, materialist people are also attached to good things, both evil and good. They are just in these two things, evil and good. Now this is one way to see one problem with a materialistic man. And even materialistic person are even attached to their own rituals, their own worship, like Christians attached to going to Catholic church and praying, Hindus go to temple and then they offer some flowers or fruits or whatever, and then they pray. So Muslims go to mosque. So that part is also there. They're attached to their own scriptures. Christians are attached to Bible, and Hindus are attached to their own Vedas or Gita or whatever it is. But the whole point is they are not attached to the person glorified in those scriptures. That's God. That's the whole problem there. So although these materialistic people, they might look good, they might look like a devotee who are devotedly going to temple. Some people in India, they go to temple daily. They have the system. That's why you see in America, they're all Hindu temples, and Hindu people come there, they bow down, they worship. But they don't love God. They're not attached to God. They're attached to their own things. So that's the problem this Narad Muni is pointing out through Puranjan. One problem. Another problem with these materialistic people is kutumba asakta chetas. they are completely attached to their family members, to their family. Now, how do we know they're attached to their family? Because they're working, Prabhupada says, they're working like as and donkeys. They're working day and night just to maintain their family members. That's all. They're thinking about their family members. They're working for them. They're speaking about them. And that's what is there in their life. So this is two problems. They're attached to them. Now, these two things, they are attached, materialistic people. And because of this, there is a problem. There's a problem. And Narad Muni will come to that problem now in this verse, but this is one way to see these two lines. Now the same problem can also happen with devotees. These two lines are also applicable to devotees, not just materialistic people. And the principle is attachment. Anything, if you have attachment to anything except God, there is a problem. So this is about materialistic people. Okay. But let's come to devotees now. Narad Muni is advising there's a problem with devotees also. Yuktasya. Now we will see these words from a different angle, from a devotional angle. Now Narad Muni says Yuktasya. Devotees, even devotees, even if you're a devotee, you might be attached to Yuktasya. Yuktasya means attached. Now attached to what? Attached to rules and regulations of scriptures. Attached to rules and regulations of bhakti. We might be attached to those rules and regulations. And that's why now you might say, well, is it not good to be attached to rules and regulations of bhakti? Should not be attached to 16 rounds, what we chant, and should not be attached to leaving sense creativity, leaving intoxication, gambling, or regulated principles, leaving them. The concept of leaving should not be attached to that. Or other rules and regulations, going to temple, doing dandvat in front of deities, or offering. There are so many rules and regulations. Shouldn't we be attached to them? Well, Narad Muni says no. This is a problem with devotees. If devotees are attached to rules and regulations of bhakti, they again come down to materialistic platform. And that's why Rupa Goswami brings that point of niyam agraha and niyam agraha. Following rules and regulations without understanding what you're doing. Or rejecting rules and regulations without understanding why you're rejecting. Now, Rupa Goswami brings a concept. A devotee can accept the rule and can also reject the rule. He's not attached to the rule. He is attached to the goal which those rules are helping us to reach. That's important. That's why the greatest, Rupa Goswami gave 64 rules and regulations in Nectar of Devotion. But then he says the greatest rule of all these is Satatam Smartyo Vishnu Vismartyo Jatu Chet Sarva Vidine Shedasyu Eta Evayar Kinkara. All the rules and regulations are subservient to just one rule. Always remember Krishna, never to forget him. This is why all the rules are designed. If any rule, according to time, place, circumstance, if that rule in that time, in that place, in that circumstance is not helping you to remember Krishna, leave it. Don't be attached to that rule. Just like Srila Prabhupada used to speak that story, that one Brahman was there, and that Brahman was doing yagyas. Now, one day what happened was a cat came. And it's a mess, a cat in yagya. So the Brahman ordered his servant, okay, tie the cat, catch her, tie it. Because it was again trying to mess up with the yagya. It was coming inside the where they were doing yagya. So it was getting mad. So Brahman said, tie it. Just then it will not disturb. Tie it in one place, in that pole. So what happened was the Brahman child was there, who was assisting the father. Now he saw this. And every time Brahman used to do yagya, he used to tie the cat. Because that cat was pet. Their pet cat, and it was there in the house always. And whenever there was yagya, something cat, she went space out and she got mad and she used to disturb. So they used to tie. So when the Brahman died, this boy he became like he grew up, and then Brahman said, okay, from now you should do yagyas, and I'm like old, and he died. So the profession went to the son's hand, and the son, somehow the cat also died. So the son, when he started doing yagyas, he said, well, everything is arranged, but one thing is missing, cat. My father used to tie a cat, and without a cat tied to that pillar, my yagya will not be successful. Now he actually didn't understand why the father is doing, because he was young, but then he just got this impression that a cat should be tied to the pillar. So they specially brought a cat and tied to the pillar. Whenever he used to do yagyas, he has to bring the cat and tie to the pillar. This is called attachment to rules and regulations. He was following rules and regulations without understanding why that rule was made. If he would have understood why the rule is made, he could have easily forgotten. He could have just left it. There's no cat, so there's no need to tie. Finish. That's all. So that's the whole point there. The whole point. As devotees, we might be attached to the rules and regulations of bhakti scripture, and that will create a havoc, because then we will not know when to accept it and when to leave it. That's more important. Sometimes we don't follow some rules. Just like, for example, deity worship is very important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vrindavan Das Thakur says in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to all his devotees, I always live in two places. One is chanting of holy names, other is the bliss of deity worship. Now, deity worship is very important. But for preachers, we just don't do deity worship, because how we will carry deities everywhere and how we're going to worship them. So it's a headache. So although deity worship is very important to signs of devotion service, but we just forego it because that's not conducive to preaching movement. Now, because we understand why deity worship is there, to please Krishna, but if in glorifying Krishna, it's an obstacle, we leave it. You see, that's how we are able to leave it. So that's the whole point. Yukta say, don't be too attached to the rules and regulations of scriptures. This is applicable to devotees. This is applicable to non-devotees. Both of them. Non-devotees are within non-devotees. There are some people who are completely materialistic people, who are just following rules and regulations for the sake of following rules and regulations. Riti Rivas, as we say, as a ritual. If you follow rules and regulations without understanding them, they are called rituals. If you follow rules and regulations with understanding, that's called devotion. So they just follow like that. And then within non-devotees, there are some people, karmakandis, who are like priests. They follow rules and regulations with some understanding of Vedas, why they are there, but they don't follow with the ultimate understanding that rules, regulations are to develop devotion and attachment to them. So this is one meaning of Yuktasya. And oh yeah, this what I was saying, this yeah, this artis. People do like householders, they do many artis. So sometimes they skip some arti, and then they say, oh, arti skip. So many householders, they are doing Mangal Arti at 8 o'clock, because you have to do Mangal Arti. Without Mangal Arti, how things will go on? But they didn't get up early in the morning, so they do Mangal Arti at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. And then Shingar Arti, because they didn't have time or whatever it is. So they're doing Shingar Arti, which is supposed to be done at 7 o'clock. Then they're doing at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or maybe 12 o'clock because they didn't have time. But the whole point is, now this is called attachment to rules and regulations. You are following rules and regulations without understanding what you're doing. Because Mangala Arati is designed to be done early in the morning before sunrise. That's the time you have to do. Otherwise, the whole purpose of doing Mangal Arati is lost. Aim of Mangal Arati is to wake you up early in the morning so that you can worship God and do your sadhana. It's not that you wake up at 7:30 and do Mangal Arati. That's complete nonsense and crazy. That means you don't understand why you're doing Artis. These 5 times Arati are designed so that you become disciplined. and you do proper things at proper time. One of the function of deity worship, Prabhupada writes, is to make you disciplined in household life. But the whole point is you are doing deity worship and still you are undisciplined, so you lose the whole purpose of deity worship. You see the point there. Better don't do it and chant and read. That's all. That's the process. Shravanam Kirtanam. So that's the point there. Now, yeah. So this might be clear, very clear in this. That's called Yuktasya. And this word Kutumba Chetasa. If you look from a devotee's angle, Narad Muni is saying, well, for devotee, what is Kutumba? For devotee, Kutumba is their family is this institution, or maybe the devotees whom we are living with, a congregation. So Narad Muni is saying, well, a devotee should not be attached to his own Kutumba. We should not be attached to our congregation and to the institution. Now, what I mean is, yeah. So what I mean is this Vyasa Tirth. He once he was I mean to say so Vyasa Tirth is in Madhva Sampradaya, as you all. He was there, and his disciple Kanak Das, he came. And Vyasa Tirth said, well, can you tell who is going back to Godhead? So Kanak Das says, well, so he just went to all his disciples and he just knocked on the head, and he said, this person is not going. And then he knocked on everybody's head and he said, this is not going, this is not going, this is not going, this is not going. So all the disciples were completely fried. They said, well, Kanak Das, you're crazy or what? Okay, tell me, is your own Guru Vyasa Tirth going back to God? You have become so egoistic. So Vyasa Tirth said, so Kanak Das said, well, Vyasa Tirth, who thinks that he's a Guru and he's the head of this institution, he will not go back to God. And everybody took up the sticks and they were ready to beat him. And Vyasa Tirth said, stop it. Let us ask him what he means, because Vyasa Tirth knew he's a pure devotee. So Kanak Das said, well, I mean, if Guru is attached to his own post as a Guru, and if he's attached to his own mutt, he is the head of the institution, he will not go back to God. So that was the whole point. If we attach to our institution ISKCON, I mean to say our institution is ISKCON, but if we think we belong to this institution, we are the greatest of all because we are in this institution, this institution is ISKCON, I mean to say, I am the Guru of this institution, I am the head of this institution, I am the head of this congregation. If we attach to these kind of posts like that, then there is a whole problem. Then you are Kutumbhasa. And you're Kutumbhasa. I am Guru, I am this, I am that. And then there's a whole problem. Yeah, we are attached to ISKCON because ISKCON as an institution, it belongs to Prabhupada. But at the same time, we are not attached in a way that this is mine. I am the head. I am this, I am that. Even forget this institution. Your local group of congregation. That's your kutumba. That's your family. But if you think I am the leader, these are my devotees, this congregation devotees, and if someone and if somebody else comes and starts preaching them and taking them, then you become disturbed. Oh my God, we preach them. These are my devotees, and we spend so much time on them, and those people are taking them. This is all happening all over the world, and people get so much disturbed by all these things. And this means your kutumba. That's all. Finish. So you're attached. You're attached because you think that you have put so much labor in making that devotees, but you have not put labor. This is all Krishna doing everything. You're not doing anything. You're just becoming instrument. Krishna is inspiring them to become devotees. No matter how much labor we will do, but if Krishna doesn't want, they'll not become devotees. So Krishna is making them devotees. If Krishna has some other plan, so we are not attached. If they want to go somewhere else, okay, fine, go. But be devotees, be happy. That's a devotee. Continue your devotional service. That should be a mood. And whenever you want to take my advice, I'm open, no problem. That is a saint. Because if you attach to anybody in this material world, you have to come back. You have to come back. It's impossible to go back to Godhead if you attach to anybody except God. So, that's Kutumba Asakta. So these two words, Yuktasya and Kutumba Asakta, can be seen from a non-devotee point of view and from a devotee point of view. And there's a problem now. Narad Muni is mentioning. There is a problem, and the problem being attached to rules and regulations or kutumba is one problem. Yuktassevam pramattasse. Narad Muni is saying pramattasse. Devotees, pramattasse means inattentive, madness. If you attach to anything else except God, you attach to rules and regulations of bhakti science, if you attach to rules and regulations of Vedas, if you attach to morality and goodness of this material world, if you attach to your own family members, if you attach to your congregation group, then what happens is, then inattentiveness, then you'll not be able to chant properly. You'll be inattentive while chanting. And that's offense, to be inattentive while chanting, pramadascha. Because when you'll chant, you'll keep on thinking those things. And pramatasya means also madness and disturbance. Your mind will be disturbed. Your mind will be completely disturbed because of small politics in the congregation. That will happen. You can't avoid it. Don't be in illusion that a congregation will be super peaceful, super happy, will always follow you, and you will always guide them. You'll always tell them and they'll do. This is never going to happen, by the way. If you think like this, you are completely in illusion. And an illusion will be disturbed, that's all. So things are going to be, crazy situations will come, but then if you attach, you'll become disturbed. So pramatasya also means becoming disturbed. You'll become disturbed. Anything you attach to except God, that will produce disturbance. And if you are attached only to God and nothing else, you'll become completely peaceful and fearless. That you will experience in your soul. Complete fearlessness and absolute peacefulness and satisfaction. In any situation, you'll not be disturbed. If your whole family is finished, you'll not be disturbed. Okay, that's a part of life. If you can't follow any rules and regulations of bhakti, but you know all these rules and regulations to make you remember God, and if you're remembering God, due to some circumstances you can't follow things. Maybe your family is anti to you, and you can't maybe chant because they just threw your beads and destroyed your altar. Still you will be okay, fine, no problem. I'll think of God in my heart for some time, for this situation. Let the things cool down, and Krishna will find for me a proper way. So any calamity will come. Your entire congregation leaves you, no problem. Krishna brought them to me and he took them away. Simple. So that's the whole point there. You'll become pramatasya, inattentive while chanting, and completely disturbed and frustrated. So you can see from the other end also, if you're becoming disturbed because of your congregation, because of your family problems, because of anything else, and if you can't chant attentively and your mind is going here and there, that indicates is your attachment is going to something else other than Krishna. That's the whole point. And then your job is to diagnose where my attachment is going. And where it is going, there are just two candidates where your attachment might be going. One is yuktasya, one is your attachment might be going to rules and regulations of scriptures, maybe morality, goodness, or maybe simple rules and regulations of bhakti which you are following just as rituals, not understanding why you're doing, or you're attached to your family or your own congregation. Somewhere or the other, your attachment is slipping away from your hands and being redirected to something else other than Krishna's lotus feet. That's what Narad Muni is saying in these first two lines. And then he's saying, he's making another point now. Asada sada. He's making another point. Asasada savai kalo. These people who are attached, either devotee, non-devotee, what happens is asada sada saiva savai kalo. A time comes, very quickly a time will come for them. Now, kalo in Sanskrit, when the word kal is used independently, I mean to say, kal means time. So you can say time for eating, time for dancing, time for sleeping. You can say like this. But when the word time is used independently as a noun, just independent, here just the time comes there. That's all. So that usually refers to death. The time has come, isn't it? When we say, when we use just time, only the word time, the time has come. So what that usually means death or old age. So Narad Muni is saying these people who are completely attached, very soon asada sadhu, and certainly a time will come which will apriya, which is not really pleasing to them. And what is that time? That is time of old age and death. Now, that's the whole point. People who are attached to anything except God, they will suffer old age, the miseries of old age, and the miseries of death. Now what are the miseries of old age? Well, of course, one misery is your whole body becomes. So Shankaracharya says in Bhaj Govindam 15th verse, Angam. So Shankaracharya says, Angam dalitam palitam mundam. Angam kalitam palitam mundam. In old age, your whole limbs will become loose. Palitam mundam, you will become bald. We are not old, but his will V-shape. But old age, you will become naturally bald. Palitam mundam. And then Shankaracharya says, Dasha vihinam. Dasha vihinam. Was that Dasha vihinam? Jatam tundam. And your teeth, your set of beautiful teeth, will just go away. It'll become teethless. And then he says, Vriddha yavat grahitva dandam. And in old age, what will happen? You will also have danda to balance yourself. Tad apina munchati asha pindam. Everything happens. Everything is lost. Your beauty is lost. Your teeth are lost. Your hairs are lost. Everything is lost. Your firmness in the body is lost. Your balance is lost. That's why you need danda. But one thing is not lost. Asha pindam. Desires are not lost. That's old age. And that creates a problem. Your attachment is not lost. You are attached whole life. Now you are attached. Because of those desires and attachment, you still want to enjoy, but you can't. Prabhupada mentions in the purpose. Your senses will not allow you to enjoy. You want to enjoy sex, but you'll not be able to because you're old. You can't. You become tired. You can't do simply. You want to see something, but your eyes are lost. Your power is lost. You got cataract. You have weak eyes. You can't see. You want to do something. You have so you want to go for some adventure, and you want to go for some hiking, but your body is weak. You need danda. You can't go. So that's the misery. If you're attached, you will be miserable in old age. That's what Narad Muni says, that the time will come for these people who are attached, which is apriya, which is not actually very dear to them. Why? Because in old age, they'll not be able to enjoy things which they are attached. They can't enjoy. Apriya. And especially priya yoshitam, people who are attached to this material world. People who are attached to yuktasya, to rules and to kutumbha, priya yoshidam, they're naturally attached to women, wine and sex. That's the center point of materialistic people. And in old age, they'll not be able to enjoy. Women. So, and of course, no woman will be attracted to them, first of all. Who will become attracted? Of course, you can buy a woman with money, but you can't buy love with money, isn't it? So that's so people, materialist people, they do so many things to avoid old age, especially the supermodels. They spend their entire money to actually get rid of one wrinkle on their face. All these women, they apply so much ointments and I don't know what I don't know, face packs and this, so there's no wrinkle and people get attracted to them. The supermodels are completely in anxiety. The more beautiful you are, the more anxious you are, because you fear old age. So that's the whole point. The time will come for them, old age, which they will suffer miserably because the things they are attached, they'll not be able to enjoy. And eventually death. Prabhupada mentions both of them in the purport. Eventually death will come to such people. But for devotees who are not attached to anything else except Krishna, he can never die. Krishna promises. Name bhakta pranashyati. Jana janmityu jarave. He is beyond birth and death. Well, then you might say, well, we see many devotees died, and we give samadhi to them. But no, Prabhupada says no, they don't die. They simply sleep. They sleep. Just like we sleep daily and then we get up. Do we die? It's almost like death. But we don't die because we sleep. There's a difference. So they don't die. They just close their eyes and open, and they are in Golo. They are with Krishna. This is what happens with devotees. Devotees who are attached to God and nothing else. That kind of devotees. But every other person, he will have to die. He'll close his eyes and he will take another body and he will feel the pain of death. He will feel the pain of death. The pain equal to biting of 30,000 scorpions. That kind of pain he will experience. And fear. Many people, when they die in fear, they lose their urine and stool. That's what happens to them. So, and this is what is a destination. This is what is a this is what happens with these people who are attached. So whether you are a non-devotee, whether you are a devotee, the point here Narad Muni is through Puranjan, he is trying to get across is, don't be attached to anything. Don't be attached to anything. As a non-devotee, you should not be attached to anything. But at the same time, you should keep on doing your duty. So the whole point is here in this box. In this box, as a devotee, you have to follow rules and regulations, but you're not attached to them. So it depends on the mood which you are doing things. Of course, it also depends what you're doing. You can't smoke a cigarette and you can't say I'm not attached to it. That's also I mean to say, you can't have prostitutes with you, one here and one here, and you say I'm not attached to them. That's crazy. You can't do like that. But at the same time, there are some things which are definitely we are not supposed to do. But at the same time, whatever we are doing, whatever else we are doing, avoiding sinful activities, even within the realm of goodness and devotion, we should not be attached to anything else. And that was a problem with Arjuna. Arjuna was attached to goodness. He was a devotee, but at that point he became attached to goodness. And then Krishna told that's why Krishna spoke Gita. Well, don't be attached to goodness. Raise yourself. You're a devotee. Remember you're a devotee and serve me and follow my orders. That was the whole point of Bhagavad Gita. To make him detached from everything else except Krishna. His name, his form, his pastimes, his qualities. And that's what Narad Muni is saying. Be careful. Be careful in this regard. Don't, and that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur defines devotion as the art of channelizing attachment and your emotions towards God. That is devotion. That's all. Now, for us, Like suppose we are worshipping God with a lamp, with incense, with flowers. But in Golok, they don't do this. Srimati Radharani Gopis, they worship Krishna by the glances. They worship Krishna with the sweet words. They worship Krishna with massaging Krishna's feet and hands. That's a mode of worship. They in Golok, Krishna accepts worship, they worship like that. So it's not the point of just following rules. The point is to understand, to actually direct your emotions to God. And to direct emotions to Krishna, you have to safeguard your emotions from actually being misdirected to anything else except Krishna. And that's what illusion does. Illusion will do everything. Illusion Maya might give you all good instructions, and you might follow it, and then you become attached to it. And her mission is accomplished. And you think I'm a good man, but then you are an illusion. You are in birth and death again. That's what Maya does. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur advises always that song, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. That's the whole point. That summarizes everything in one line. Always speak about Krishna, serve Krishna, be attached to him only, and tell others to be attached to Krishna only and nothing else. That's very important. And that's what Narad Muni is trying to get across through Puranjan to Prachin Bhari King. And he's trying to convey, well, you might be doing so many things in this world, in your family, in your society, in devotion, but be careful. Don't become entangled in all these things around you. Don't become entangled, because these things, you use these things to become attached to God and then escape from this material world, which is made of dead matter, which is made of things, and go back to God. That's the purpose of this material world. Don't forget the purpose of this material world, the purpose of all the knowledge in this material world. Otherwise, we'll just be stuck up somewhere and we lose the whole opportunity to go back to Sri Krishna. So, and how do we know we are attached? How do we know? Well, pramatasya. This is a sign. If you are inattentive while chanting, if you can't chant properly, if your mind doesn't get fixed on chanting and many thoughts are coming, then this means your attachment is somewhere else. Now try to figure out, try to diagnose it. And if you're disturbed in in conditions of material life, or in any condition, if your mind is disturbed, that means you're attached somewhere else other than Krishna. So that's what is Narad Muni trying to tell to Puranjan through Puranjan Katha. And Prabhupada gives a nice story there in the purport. We just read how materialistic people are afraid. People who are attached, they are afraid of death and old age. And just like the prince, that saint, he gave him, okay, always live, because he's afraid of death. So the saint said, okay, if you're afraid of death, fine, always live. Because saint knew after death, anyway, he's going to hell. So for him, better keep on living. At least let him enjoy. Anyway, he's afraid of death also. So that's the whole point. And for the saint, whether you live, whether you die, he's not afraid of death. So the saint says, fine, he's not afraid of death. A saint doesn't want to put anybody in anxiety. That's the whole point. So he says, okay, for prince, he says, don't die, because anyway, you are so anxious that you will die. So I give you blessings, don't die. And anyway, after death, you're going to hell, so keep on living. For the saint, for another saint, he said, you live or die. Anyway, you're not afraid of death. And you are not interested in living. So whether you live or die, it's your option, because anyway, you'll keep on serving God. And for the hunter, he said, die immediately, because anyway, you're doing so many sins and you're leading a horrible life. You're so miserable. You can't even get food daily. You have to kill and this and that. So better die, you will. And anyway, for hunter, he said, don't live, don't die, because anyway, after death, you'll go to hell. And your living is miserable. So don't live, don't die. So what he's going to do, I don't know what's going to happen. And for brahmachari, he said, die. Because anyway, brahmachari or sannyasi, he was doing so much tapasya And he was not afraid of death. In fact, he wanted to go back to Godhead as soon as possible. So the saint understood his desire and he said, okay, you die, no problem. So the whole idea is devotees who are attached to God, they are not afraid of death. But devotees who are attached to anything else except God, or non-devotees, they get fear, they are afraid of death. I mean to say afraid of death, what? When if you become little sick, people are afraid, my God, what happened to my body? I've seen many devotees, they become so apprehensive, so anxious, something happens to their body, they're completely disturbed. Then this means you're attached to your body. So that this is a sign, Pramatasya. Keep in mind and be truthful to yourself. See what's happening in your heart. Don't be cheated by people around you, by your own congregation, that my Prabhuji, Mataji, you're such a senior devotee, you're so nice, you're so elevated. Don't be deluded by all those things. It'll just misguide you. Let them say that's okay, that's their emotions. But we should not be deluded. We should always keep on checking where we are. Because in the eyes of death, we are a small living entity who has no value. We are simply a mortal entangled in death who has no value at all. And death can come anytime and finish us in 1 second, no matter what we do. So, yeah, don't fall into this trap of senior and all these things. We have to see in our heart where our attachment is going. That's what will matter. That's what Krishna is going to see. That's what laws of nature are going to see. That's what Yamaraj is going to count upon and see where you are. So keep this in mind. Narada Muni is warning, because many saints in the past have slipped away, have deviated, were being tempted, and they lost this path. Many were lost on this path of devotion. Many were lost in history, in our own institution, in all the institutions of devotional service, and all the people on spiritual path. Many are lost after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So don't be lax. Narad Muni is a teacher, he's Acharya, he's trying to warn us. And he is saying, if you are sincere, success is guaranteed. It's guaranteed. So that's what he's trying to say. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anything anybody wants to ask? You know.